Reveal Iraq. The chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Republican Senator John McCain of Arizona, and Republican presidential candidate Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Let's talk about why you're there. You're talking about and looking at ISIS and how it's growing and developing in both Iraq and across in Syria as well. What is the state of play in Iraq right now?
I think it's very, unfortunately, not a lot of progress. We will see probably the retaking of Ramadi from ISIS, but there's other indications that this is a very long, hard struggle, and the President of the United States still does not have an overall strategy for the region. This is putting Band-Aids on bleeding areas. There's no overall strategy, and ISIS continues to metastasize, to wit, look at Libya recently in Syria. And so we're in for a long, hard struggle, and we still haven't got a strategy to handle ISIS in the region.
Richard Haas.
Senators, are you willing to basically give up on the idea of having U.S. policy funneled through the central government in Baghdad, given the role of Iran and given its own incompetence, and essentially have us work much more directly with the Kurds and with Sunni tribes in the west of Iraq?
Well, I think we have to a significant degree. We cannot ignore the central government. We met with Abadi. We think that he's a very a good man, but the Iranian influence, as you know, Richard, is incredibly strong here, and the Iranian influence has probably hampered a lot of the efforts that Abadi otherwise might make, and more arrangements that we might make with the United States as far as our involvement is concerned.
Lindsey, the president obviously said that ISIS was contained. Tell us what you're seeing on the ground there that obviously would lead you to believe otherwise.
Well, I think Ramadi will fall, so I want to congratulate General McFarlane and the Iraqi security forces. I think there are just a few hundred fighters left in Ramadi, and that's no small accomplishment. But we don't have enough forces on the ground to really deal with Mosul. Mosul is a very large city in the hands of ISIL. But you can't fix Iraq, Joe, without dealing with Syria. And there is no credible ground component in Syria. So if you don't get Syria right, you're not going to fix Iraq, now Libya. The story that's not being talked about as Ramadi falls taken away from ISIL, they pick up Gaddafi's hometown in Libya. So we need a regional strategy, and we don't have one.
Lindsey, it's Richard again. You mentioned the key missing factor, which is a ground partner in Syria. What is your thinking now about the best way to generate one, and how many more U.S. troops are you and Senator McCain thinking it'll require to really make it viable on the ground there?
I think we'll know more about what's left in Syria here fairly soon. But I believe, and I may be wrong, but I believe this for 2 years, that the region is in a different spot. ISIL is a threat to the Sunni Arab kingdoms, it's a threat to Turkey, and that they have an interest in destroying ISIL. They have an interest in making sure Iran doesn't control Damascus. They want Assad out. So I think a regional ground force is possible with American leadership. And the good news is that regional ground force would be 90% from the region, 10% from the West, because we don't need a large Western army. Let's put the region out front this time and make them pay for the war. But without that, I don't see how we take Raqqa back. There's just not anybody left in Syria that can do the job, in my view.
Senators McCain and Graham, thank you both for being on the show this morning. Coming up.